So Kamala Harris used to be California's top cop, huh? That's good. She can put out an APB to find out where her black supporters went. She's doing bad, yo. Right here on TBTV. Bernie Sanders is beating Kamala Harris 2-1 with black voters. Oh, that's got to sting. A DNC that backed, supported, and uplifted Kamala Harris is now seeing her not do so well with the black population, even after announcing her campaign on MLK Day. A new poll released says the Vermont senator is leading all other announced candidates in support from black voters. The only potential candidate who polled better with African Americans is Joe Biden, who as of today has not announced that he's running or not running. He's still toying with it and creeping everybody out along the way. So, despite a persistent notion that his supporters are disproportionately white and Bernie bros, Bernie Sanders is doing very well with black voters. Is actually slightly more popular among black Democratic voters than white voters. Yeah, that's even worse. See, they said he couldn't do well with black voters, but he seems to be doing even a little better with black voters than white voters.
Well, whistle me Dixie.
I want you to hang with me until the end of this video because I'm going to drop a bombshell that I don't think many of you guys are really ready for. All right? So make sure you stay to the end of this video. Sanders' support amongst black voters is at 28%. It puts him in second place among that demographic behind Biden at 32%. He trailed Biden 31-25 among white voters. There appears to be a strong class element at play in the finding. The small poll found that the demographic Sanders is least popular with, at 19 and 17% respectively, are Democrats who make what? $100,000 per year or more. Democrats who have postgraduate degrees, two qualities that typically, if not always, overlap. Because of structural wealth and income gaps, that population is often heavily white. Bernie Sanders also strongly receives his stronger support from those making less than $50,000, a group that is, for the same reasons, much more diverse. The poll found that 30% of those with the least income backed Bernie Sanders. Well, those people feeling the brunt of capitalism may be the ones who embrace democratic socialism. That's not crazy, is it? Those with the least access to health care, $15 an hour, free tuition, or people who are strapped with bills from that tuition may be the people that really realize or truly realize in a very fundamental, real way how important it would be to have those policies made into law. And I guess if you make over $100,000 and you're good, you got your insurance, maybe your school bills are paid up, or you can pay out of pocket for your kids or whatever, and you don't worry too much about those necessities that are so critical for the rest of Americans. So where does Senator Kamala Harris fall in this, black support thing? Kamala's only getting 14% of the black vote right now. That don't look good. You launch on MLK Day. Your father's Jamaican and your mother's Indian, and somehow black folks aren't relating to you too much. You were a prosecutor, an attorney general, the top cop, and you mean black people are not going, wow, great, the woman that locked up my son, I want her as a president. Oh, great, the woman that locked up my husband, or my potential husband, for having marijuana on him. Great, let's get her out here. She'll be a great president. You mean more black women aren't running up to do that? You learn something every day, don't you?
Listen, it's okay for her to evolve. It's okay for her to develop a new outlook on things, but she has to tell that story. And it can't just be, don't think about what I did last year, just focus on what I'm doing now. And I quite honestly have not heard her tell that story. Jason talked about her truant policy. That impacts disproportionately low-income parents of color. She only recently came out in favor of recreational marijuana use. I mean, that is another thing that impacts people of color. She did not support body cam usage for law enforcement officers. She was not in favor of a bill that was forcing her office to prosecute shootings involving law enforcement officers. So these are things that certainly people at large are going to have questions about, but specifically black men, blue-collar black men, they're going to have a problem with her record. And you're right, Kareem, she's not the only person, but I will say I think the African-American community expects more from people who looks like us, particularly a candidate who wants to represent us. It's the old, civil rights saying, you have to love the people to lead the people.
Maybe black folks are getting a memo on this. Maybe black folks are seeing what we're seeing, people online. So how are the rest of the pack doing with the black vote? According to this poll, Senator Cory Booker comes in fourth place with 6% among black voters. Elizabeth Warren and Beto O'Rourke both come in with 4%. And Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, former New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg, former Attorney General Eric Holder, and Senator Sherrod Brown, all others clocked in at 1%. Now, in the seventh paragraph of this article, which was pointed out to me by Roland Martin and Bakari Sellers, it's true. Part of Kamala's problem with black folks is they just don't know who she is. And that may be true because in 2016, a lot of people didn't know who Bernie was, and that definitely worked against him, running against the most popular female politician in the history of female politicians in the United States. So, yeah, I get that, right? But no one cared. Like, no one cared that that was the case. No one went, oh, poor Bernie. No one knows who he is. Instead, what they did was front-load the southern states, where the most black vote would matter, knowing that black people didn't know who Bernie was. It was a strategic move on behalf of the Democratic Party. But now, Roland Martin and Bakari Sellers want to make this an issue in order to justify the low numbers Kamala has. Compared to Sanders in 2015, Harris is already fairly well known among the Democratic primary electorate, with 79% have heard of her, 52% view her favorably to just 11% unfavorably. It remains to be seen whether an argument that was casually dismissed when made by Sanders supporters will now be exploited by supporters of Harris. The preference for Sanders among black voters might be better explained by ideology than identity. February's Harvest Harris poll found that 56% of black voters preferred a mostly socialist economic system, against 44% who wanted a mostly capitalistic system. Yes, because black folks, by the very nature of having slavery in their past, and past of Jim Crow and segregation and discrimination, see the need for social programs. It's funny how that works. At least the majority of us do. There's some people out there who don't like the fact that The Intercept doesn't toe the DNC talking point line. And they really shouldn't be upset by that. They should be thankful, because the only publication that really should toe the line for the DNC would be the DNC newsletter, which is what MSNBC tends to be, the DNC newsletter. Get it? Listen, Bernie Sanders had a very strong showing. And this is that bonus part I want to tell you about. I think everybody needs to chill out for a moment and realize it's very early. We got a lot of time in front of us. Over a year before the nominee for the Democratic Party will be chosen. And a lot can happen in a year. But all those Bernie naysayers, they should take into consideration that there's some things that Bernie's got working for him in his favor. One, name recognition. That's the benefit of running in 2016. Two, infrastructure. He has organizational support. Boots on the ground in states all across the country because of our revolution. Three, he is not a cop. And four, fundraising potential. Oh yeah, Bernie Sanders raised $10 million in a week, 3 days or something crazy. whatever it was, it blew the water out of the well, right? It's crazy what he's doing. Joe Biden is going to have a hard time if he joins this race. He has the weight and the legacy of Obama wrapped around his neck, and frankly, there are a lot of people, at the end of the day, they will not want to go backwards, they want to go forwards. And I believe that Biden is a step backwards. Not only, and also Biden is an old form of politics that the country's just moved away from, I believe. Those are my top 5 reasons for why Bernie Sanders is the front runner. He's the front runner with black voters next to Biden. He leads black voters 2-1 over Kamala Harris, and Booker's so far in the back, he's just eating the exhaust fumes from the Prius or whatever Bernie's driving, which can't be good because he's a black guy from Jersey. But see, maybe we're getting to a point where we're looking at what people have to offer and what their policies are, not just what they look like. And that's important because we need to not judge our candidates based on gender or race or religion or any of that. Judge them on what they bring to the table and what they're offering you as a constituent. What do you get for it? That should be the driver and who you support. All right, it's still early. All right, still early. We're going to see. Now, that's how I see it. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Watch the video on the left if you want to hear more about Bernie Sanders and his campaign, and watch the video on the right if you want to hear me tell you the truth about Kamala Harris. Both ways, you're a winner.